Hello everyone, welcome back to Neutralix. I'm your host cosolix, and today we have so many tips to help you improve for 2024. This video is a combination of our best tips from the year 2023, and we're trying to help you as much as possible. So if you want to improve our Brawlhalla, subscribe to Neutralix. You're going to see a lot more new tips for 2024, and I hope this video helped you improve. Also, if you want some personal coaching from me, check out teamneutralix.com. The link to that is down below. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the video. Let me know which tip is going to help you the most in ranked, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Let's get right into this. First thing you need to do is go to the settings, top right, and then what you're going to need to do, go to the settings on the right. Yeah, I don't know why I got Brawlhalla open. Go to the settings on the right, hit change region, and hit add servers. For me, it's X. And make sure US West or whatever your secondary server is, make sure that secondary server is disabled. By default, US West is going to be enabled. So if you see, if I actually switch the region, look at that, US West is enabled. Turn that shit off. We don't need it. And if you're EU, okay, you don't have a secondary server. If you're Middle East, Europe is enabled. That's bad, right? So make sure you have no secondary servers. That's the next thing you need to do is go to preferences. And then what you're going to want to do is look at the camera mode. So there's three good camera modes pros use. There's default, which is probably the majority of pros. Then there's action, which I know Radish uses, and a couple others. And then there's close, which I know Hardy uses, Stingray uses. I'm not familiar with the rest, but yeah. These three are the ones I'd recommend. I personally use default. I'm an old person, so maybe that's why. But try them all out for yourself and let me know down below in the comments which one do you prefer. The next thing you need to do is go a little bit higher. This is number 3 on the list. We got team icons. So mine shows damage. By default, yours will probably show all or never or whatever. Make sure it's on damage. And the reason why is it shows your stock above your head. Look at this. So you see above Vector's head. Look at this. When I hit them, they're yellow. Wow. This is just insanely useful. I don't need to look in the stupid corner of my screen. It's amazing. So I don't know why you guys shouldn't have done this sooner. I don't know why Brawlhalla doesn't have it on by default, but go do that now. Next thing you're going to need to do, there's a lot of things. Go to ranked ones, then go to settings, and the same thing happens in 2s. See that? Tournament maps only. Turn that on. Ban maps. I don't like Western Air Temple. Ban whatever map you want. But yeah, ban whichever one you hate the most. And ban gadgets on. That's 3 things right there you need to do to be playing ranked properly. Do these settings. They're going to help you win more of your ranked games and keep things as consistent as possible. The 7th thing on the list, I know we're going really quick. Favorite your favorite legends. Favorite your favorite legends. So what you can do, I don't know what the keybind is on keyboard. I apologize. But on controller, if you click on your right trigger, it unfavorites and favorites, you can kind of see the star next to them. I've got a bunch of characters favorited, like Tezca, Artemis, Master Chief, but then the Lance character is really at the front. Okay, number 8 on the list, we actually have a little bonus one that I didn't include, but go to betas, and if you're on PC, then turn on this Brawlhalla tech test. And then what you're going to want to do is go to general, and you'll see these launch options. The ones you really need to know are frame fix unbounded is extremely useful. Make sure you have that. If you want to remove like spectator delay, then spectator delay, and then the number is how many milliseconds. And then I have no network next on, but it's up to you. It's really just frame fix unbounded. You can do unlock FPS, whatever you feel is best. But just frame fix unbounded is the one you need to remove input lag. Number 9 on the list of things to do in this video, go to the store, hit crossovers, and whoever you main, go buy a crossover. And is it because I want to support Brawlhalla? Well, yes, but no. It's because the crossovers are pay to win. Honestly, if you want to improve and, you know, win more often, these crossovers, they've got different sound effects. And they're going to throw off opponents. They just do. They throw me off. I just recommend these crossovers. They feel like different characters. They're more menacing. Maybe some of the sound effects are silent. They're just slightly pay to win. Maybe they're invisible, like Stevani's, her side sig's invisible on the startup frames. There's just little things about these crossovers that are kind of scuffed, but amazing at the same time. So go buy yourself a crossover. I know it's expensive, but I highly recommend it. You're going to want to play more Brawlhalla, and also it's just like pay to win. Next on this list, number 10, we want to go to the system settings, and you see hold to pause, enable that. Is it necessary? No. But if you're playing this on LAN or you accidentally pause sometimes, like me, it just makes it so you're not going to pause mid-game. You just have to hold to pause. And I can kind of show you what I mean. Like, if you see on my controller here, the pause button, I am pressing the pause button, nothing's happening. But if I hold it, it pauses. So it's just a little useful. Number 11, we want to go to preferences, and at the bottom, background options. Blur background high. There's a bunch of little background options like simple backgrounds or blurred backgrounds. I like blurred backgrounds. I think it looks nice, so I put blur background on high, but really whatever you want. It's just going to help not distract from the background. Next, what you're going to want to do, go to controls, and this is the same on controller and keyboard. Make sure pick up with light attack, quick attack picks up is always off. Do not have this on. It's no pros have this on anymore. See, pick up with quick attack, turn that off. It makes it so when a weapon spawns, instead of picking it up with your attack button, you pick it up with another button, because then you have the option if you want to attack or pick up, where here you have to pick up and you can't attack. So it's just good to theoretically give yourself, again, that option. And number 13 on this video, the last thing, it's in preferences, and you might have seen it, waiting room training mode. So this allows you, when you're queuing for a match, you can actually practice your combos, and you can kind of see what I mean, and I can, like, you know, adjust it all. I don't want to play a game right here, but you see what I mean. First thing that you guys need to do is go into offline, go into training, pick your character, pick a flat map like small Brawlhalla, and you guys need to learn the true combos on the characters or weapons you play. You can practice these true combos very easily. Here's what you need to do. Click on settings. You can kind of see tab if you're on keyboard, back button or whatever if you're on controller. I like turning hurt boxes, hitboxes on, stun on, damage on, item spawning I turn off. And then on the next page, let's switch the control mode to bot. Let's put the bot in the center of the map. Now let's go switch back to player mode. And then let's go to the bottom, damage reset on, position reset on. Here we can set the damage of the bot to whatever we want. For now, we'll just go 0 and give ourselves the weapon of choice. I'm going to go Lance and learn the true combos. Watch a bunch of guides. There's a bunch on Neutralix. You can even look up Lance guide, Ulgrim guide, Axe guide, Scythe guide, etc., etc., and learn the essential combos and strings you need to know, like side light nair, or like side light there end light, etc., etc. Make sure you learn these combos because new players do not use them. So the second thing new players don't do is know how to punish. So what is punishing? Punishing is letting your opponent miss, so it's avoiding the attack, number one. Then you have to make the decision, can you punish the attack? And punishing is when they're attacking, they're stuck in frames. So it's deciding if we can punish those frames, if that makes sense. So, see, this person's missing. A lot of this I feel like I can't punish, so we're going to let the opponent miss. I didn't avoid it there. I'm not really avoiding it. There we go. And that was a punish. They went for something and I punished it. This person's not bad. They're actually going for some good stuff. Can't really punish that. I made that decision. That I can punish, and I did, and I punished it with a true combo that we just talked about. You can kind of see further in the game. I kind of punished that down light. That was bad. He punished me. Let's keep going. Get some guitars, you know, see what he goes for, and we punish that side zig with a nair. We're gonna punish that. Never mind. That's what he goes for. Just gonna nair. I just want to show you once again, and we punish that side sig with a nair. Nair's off stage, and see how he wasted a dodge. If you see that in slow mo, you can kind of go back. I punished him for wasting that dodge. So it's whenever your opponent is made vulnerable is kind of the way to go. So same thing there, goes to the end sig, I punish. So guys, learn how to punish your opponents. They miss attacks constantly, much easier than this guy. So practice punishing and focusing on your opponent missing. Get them to miss and then punish it. And number 3 is learn matchups and just stay consistent. If you're new at Brawlhalla, you don't know necessarily what everything does in this game. So kind of take your time and just play consistently. Just learn the game. It takes a lot of time, maybe 100 hours, maybe 2, maybe 500. Who knows? Just stay consistent, have fun with it. I know Orb's got side light Sair, so I'm kind of waiting for that. He goes for a bad Sair, goes for the side light, and I tried to punish it. So just kind of knowing the matchup, you can kind of position yourself, right? Orb has downlight diagonally, but not something too good, just directly above. So I'm kind of like, you know, in that area. And there's on Hammer. Hammer is pretty bad at neutral, doesn't have a lot of horizontal range, and you can see it right there. He missed the Sair, and so I put myself in a good position. So learning the matchups just like that allows you to position yourself really well against your opponent. Like Hammer, you don't want to be stacked because that's where all their combos come from, etc, etc. And number 4, practice using dash. Dash is the fastest way to move in Brawlhalla. Specifically, dash jumping like this. This is the fastest way. A dash jump like this, like he maybe can't hit me because of it. Yeah, it's the fastest way. So practice using dash. A lot of new players make the mistake of just not practicing it at all. They almost ignore it. It takes a while to kind of get used to it, but dash jumping is insanely useful, and there's so much more to dash once you learn how to dash jump. There's dash cancels, there's dash cancels into empty hops, there's dash landings, which kind of goes into dash jumping, etc, etc. You can watch movement guides, but if you're new to Brawlhalla, practice this. Just dash jump fast fall at the start. It's the fastest way to move in Brawlhalla. And just utilizing and just practicing dash. Even though you're not going to add it to your gameplay right away, just try and use it for fun. It's a fun thing. It's like a button mashing movement mechanic. It's amazing. So have fun with it and just try and use it. I promise you're going to add it to your gameplay naturally. It's like learning how to run when you're a toddler. First you learn to walk, okay, that's practicing Brawlhalla. Then you learn to run, and that's what using dash is, and you got to get faster. It's going to help you tremendously. Tip number 5, a lot of you guys don't do this. You need to pick a main. This allows you to really hone in and focus on one thing at a time. Every weapon has strengths, weaknesses, dead zones, advantage state. It's all different. Every legend as well has different signatures, different stats. You're going to want to play them differently. So I really recommend, if you're new to Brawlhalla, pick a main. And even if you're not new to Brawlhalla, I recommend to pick a main because you're going to learn how to get good at this game as quickly as possible if you can focus on as little as possible. Playing random and a bunch of characters is really difficult. For me, I picked one weapon, so I'd recommend even just one weapon, and then you pick the character who's best with that weapon that you enjoy playing. And when picking a main, don't go for meta, don't go for what you think is broken, go for what you have the most fun playing. Because characters in the meta, they come and go, but if you genuinely love playing that character, you're going to want to play more Brawlhalla. And tip number 6, this is kind of out of your control, but play on PC. If you don't play on PC, you're fine up until Valhalla, which is a long way to go. But once you do hit Valhalla, you're going to want to switch to PC. If you're watching this and you're a mobile player, do not play mobile. You can't even play on LAN one day. If you want to actually get good at this game or even have the chance to, do not play on mobile. Xbox, PlayStation, PC is good. Switch, I'd probably switch to one of those other 3, but it's probably the same as the other consoles. Next, part of this tip, you're going to want to go to options, go to preferences, team icons, put that to damage, name icon size, put to big icons. This will make it so you can see your opponent's health without looking in the corner of your screen. Very useful, will really help you stay focused in your matches. You can even blur the background over here. Waiting room set to training, I really like. Camera mode, I personally play on default. A lot of people like close and action camera, so I'd recommend testing, see what you prefer of all 3. Close can be weird, but I know a lot of players play on close, so I definitely recommend it. Tip number 8, play like your life depends on it. A lot of people are playing this game for fun, and that is totally okay, but if you want to get better at Brawlhalla, pretend you're the character. If you're playing a match, you don't want to get hit. You do not want to get hit in the face with a giant hammer or spear or sight or whatever. Play like your life is on the line. It's going to allow you to make smarter decisions, and that's part of the consistency. We want to win no matter what. So do whatever it takes to win. Pretend you are the character you're playing. What would you do if your life is on the line and you had to win? And try and think logically. I like to think of this game as a bunch of if statements. I don't know if you know computer science, but if this happens, then do this. If this happens, then do this. And there's solutions to every problem. So play like your life is on the line and find those solutions. If you're also on controller, improve sticks. I like turning it off, but it depends on the controller. This is about a dead zone thing. If you have stick drift, turn this on. If your controller inputs very accurately, turn this off. it feels like less input lag. But yeah, more specifically, quick attack pickups, turn that shit off. In tip number 10, I could have brought this up a bit earlier. It's a pretty useful tip. We're gonna go back into training really quick. A lot of people don't know this, which is crazy. But you can actually, if you want to jump and attack, like you kind of see I'm jumping and attacking, you can actually press your jump and attack at the exact same time. I'm pressing it with my thumb. I'll even show you on the camera right here. You see my thumb? Jump, attack. I'm pressing both of them at the exact same time. It will always jump first. And there's so many combos in the game that require a jump. For instance, down light neutral air. You press them at the same time. I don't know, on axe, side light neutral air, side light side air. You see where I'm going with this. Lance, side light neutral air. And if you press them at the same time, it makes these inputs way easier. Second thing that you guys make this mistake a lot, stop dodging too often. A lot of people will burn dodges randomly. So for instance, in neutral, I'm going to dodge here, and now I'm vulnerable. If I dodge a lot, he's can just nair me right away. Look at this. I got no dodge. I got no dodge again. I'm going to waste my dodge again. Gonna waste my dodge again. He's not really punishing me because he's not really a good player. There we go. That's Sarah and whatnot. Especially off stage. Let's say I dodge right here. I don't have a dodge to avoid. Like, look at this. If I get hit off stage and I dodge, I don't have a dodge when recovering. I ate that down there. A lot of people, they dodge when they shouldn't be dodging. So use your options wisely, especially ones that you don't get back too often, like dodges, for instance. Like, you shouldn't be dodging, you know, for the wrong reasons. Don't dodge for no reason. A lot of people watching, you guys dodge for no reason. And the third thing that you guys need to do and stop making this mistake, stop going for things that aren't true combos unless your opponent doesn't have a dodge. So a lot of people, like there, I shouldn't have went to the end light because it wasn't really confirmed. But let's say, like, I don't know, I'm going to go for downlight GC download. A lot of people will go for these cool strings. So like that, even though they just don't land, right? I want you guys, everyone watching, hit the true combos. And then, like this downer, I didn't try and follow up that downer with an end light. Don't follow something up if it's not going to land. Only go for confirms. Sarah, I didn't follow up, right? It's a little bit more boring, but you have to learn how and when to go for these combos. You can't go for them randomly. There's a reason for everything. This guy is insane. What can I say? What was that ground pound from me? I didn't try and follow up that recovery. You know, we're in kind of raw neutral. I'm going to empty hop. I shouldn't have end lighted. This guy's insane. See, look, I side light nair. I can't even follow that up because he's just going to dodge. In neutral, he has no dodge, so I side light recovery, and that kills. So yeah, guys, only go for those things that aren't true when your opponent is vulnerable. Stop going for strings when they're not confirmed. You're gonna eat a lot of damage. Like right here, I almost ate some damage. If I go for a side light, look at this. I just got hit for it because I went for something that was not true. Even there, it wasn't really confirmed. Yada yada. Anyways, the fourth thing, getting too close to your opponent. Some weapons you want to get very close, like guitars and whatnot. But if you get too close, it makes it very hard to avoid your opponent. Like there, I went too close. Just to show you guys. Here, I'm going really close. I want neutral here, but if I get really close, look at that, I just ate a recovery. If I get too close, I can't react and avoid attacks very easily. It's that unreactable zone. You don't want to stay in an area that you can't react to. The goal with Brawlhalla is you want to win no matter what the situation is. So if you can't deal with the situation, then you shouldn't be there. So if you're too close to your opponent, you're not going to be able to react, and you're just going to eat a lot of damage. So that's a bad habit I see a lot of you guys. Stop getting like too close. Don't stay too close to your opponent. The next mistake I see low elo players make is actually playing too aggressive. Sometimes you do need to learn to be a little bit patient, but what I mean by that is people will just attack for no reason. They'll just keep attacking, attack, and they're making themselves very vulnerable. Okay, this guy's unarmed, so he's not really doing anything. But if I keep spamming, see, he's avoiding the attacks, and then I just ate a punish. There's people who, they just keep going. Okay, this guy is... But nair, there, sir. I don't know. Just, you guys, a lot of the time, just attack way too much. Maybe this Yumiko player is just bad or something, but nair, there, There, like, I'm just eating damage, right? This is not how you win consistently. A lot of people, there's reasons for every attack. People attack for just not a good reason. Like, that Sarah was not a good reason. This Sarah is not a good reason. This Sarah is not a good reason. You see these Sarahs? There's no good reason behind these Sarahs. I'm just going for stuff. That was a good reason because he ran into it. But yeah, a lot of people, again, stop going for attacks when there's not a purpose. And this also goes the other way. Stop playing too patient. If you play too far back, your opponent is going to take the stage. And now look, I had nowhere to go. If you fall too far back, your opponent's going to take that space and then work with it. So you don't want to be running too much. This guy disconnected, but I'm still going to prove my point. The closer I get, the less options my opponent has, right? We're acting like a wall almost, okay? We're trying to build that wall. But if you're too far back, that wall gets pushed back, and then look at this. You can treat it like a war. You got your land and your opponent's land, and you want as much land as possible, but if you go too fast into your opponent's land, you're just gonna get shot. You're gonna lose, right? So you want to stay that perfect distance where you have options, but you also just don't want to get too close. So it's not playing too aggressive, it's not playing too passive, and that's a huge mistake I see a lot of people. A lot of people sit on the other side of the map, and sure, it can work, but consistently, if you want to win every single time, the best players put pressure accurately. They don't get too close unless they're going to win the interaction, so, you know, attacking for a reason and whatnot. Okay, I believe this is number 7, but this is a huge mistake, and I think every elo makes this except pros and maybe Brawlhalla. You guys all need to start mixing up your options when returning to stage. So for instance, if I'm off stage, if I'm recovering back, instead of recovering immediately and eating a lot of damage, you can actually mix up the options. Like I could recover here, then I can dodge, I don't know, I can like dodge up here. That was a bad recovery. But it's really like mixing things up, do things out of the ordinary. So like dodging up here, you can like spot dodge even or something like that. He's not really edge guarding me, but I was just trying to prove a point. Like let's say, you know, we're off stage. Instead of recovering right away, I recovered, then I sared. And you see that mix up allowed me to bait him out, right? So we're gonna, you know, what is he doing? Come on, come over here. No! No! So yeah, guys, start mixing up your recoveries. Like, let's say you get hit all the way off stage. You can go jump, jump, recovery, dodge up, then go to stage. And if you dodge up instead of dodging towards the stage, that's a mix-up in itself. You can recovery first, jump, dodge up, jump, and I'm dead. But obviously depends on the weapon you're playing. Be careful. Lance, you have a lot of ways to mix it up. Just because of how Lance recovery works, you can charge it, and you can adjust the charge as a mix-up. I'm a Lance player. But yeah, recovery, Sair, dodge up. Like you could go all the way off stage, jump, recovery, dodge up, Sair, or like you can, I don't know, jump, Sair, dodge up, recovery. I don't know, recovery, whatever. You get what I mean. Just play around with how to get back to stage. You could even, instead of going low, go really high up into the air, weapon throw, and then dare it to stage. Kind of change up how you get back to stage, because a lot of the damage you eat in low elo is because you don't mix up your recoveries. And by recoveries, I mean recovering back to stage. Okay, so the 8th biggest low elo mistake I see is going for the wrong punish. So a lot of people, you know, we talked about punishing in the first thing. They'll let their opponent miss, but you'll go for a punish that doesn't give you a lot of, you know, reward. So in general, when going for punishes, I want you guys to think, once obviously make the right decision, but how can you optimize the punish? What's the best depending on the situation? So for me, like if I downlight on gauntlets, I'm going to be able to hit a combo, right? I resembled that. There we go, that downlight. And that's a much better punish than a lot of other options, at this elo at least. Like he's an orange, so I want downlight, side light. I almost get a dodge from that. Downlight, side light, and instead of going for a side light punish there, the downlight gives you free damage. So really thinking about how to maximize what you want to get out of that punish is really important. Hitting combo starters is huge, but then also we're in red, we need to get a sig punish, just like that. instead of going for the side light, going for the sig when you need to. A lot of people, they'll just go for the first punish that they can think of. And when you're uncomfortable with punishing, that is definitely like the best. But as you get better at Brawlhalla, you need to think about what's the most optimal punish depending on every situation. Like they're going for the down light. I could have definitely went for a combo there. I just wasn't comfortable because I don't really play gauntlets. This guy is not dodging, so I'm just going to go for a recovery. And that's going to lead to a kill too, so... What are you doing, sir? What are you doing, sir? I missed a true combo. There we go. Told you he wasn't dodging. So yeah, that's number 8. And then number 9, in general, just stop playing Brain Dead. Easier said than done. But let me simplify and explain myself. Basically, stop doing things for no reason. Every single thing you do in Brawlhalla, it's for a reason. Play like your character is your life, and you do not want to die. Your life is on the line. So when playing Brawlhalla, think about the things you do, and what's the reason behind doing them. Like I go for the side light to try and get a punish there, right? I decided I couldn't punish that Sarah. Here I'm doing some movement, going in and out of these reactable zones. And it's just, in general, like, if you can't explain something, then there's a mistake. No! But yeah, watch over your own gameplay. Think about it in the moment. If you're doing something, and then you ask yourself, okay, why am I doing this? Is it the best thing to be doing here? If it's not, then why am I doing it? And just in general, if you think that way, you're going to build up some great habits. Whee! But yeah, everything I do, I can explain. So try your best to explain everything you do. Like there, I was going for a dodge reaction. He dodged right away. I shouldn't have went for the recovery. That was relying on him being bad. Got a dodge down, but I didn't get that read. He's been dodging down, so then there we go. Etc. You can kind of see what I mean. You explain your thought process, and you're going to choose better options. The first reason why your movement sucks at Brawlhalla, you don't know how to dash dance. There we go. You don't know how to dash dance. Make sure you know how to do this. What I'd recommend is go from one side of small brawl to the other, and don't make a mistake. Just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the moment you can go from one side to the other, that's when you've mastered dash dancing. Let's get to number 2. Number 2, this is a new thing to Brawlhalla. A lot of people still don't know about dash landings. Recently, they made it so when you land on the ground, you see how there's a landing frame? Well, you can cancel it with a dash. You no longer have to land. And look at this, you snap to the ground. This allows you to cover space quicker than ever before. So really make sure you know how to dash land. So it's, again, right before you dash, right before you land, you dash, and then it cancels the frame. Sometimes you'll accidentally dodge slightly too high above the ground, like you saw me do a little bit earlier. So make sure you kind of get a feel for it, as you can kind of see there. And you can kind of see, like, when you're landing on the ground, how, like, fast it is. Before, you'd have to land and then dash. Now, you can do that all in, like, one go. So make sure you can time this thing properly. I am messing it up here. That is, you know, if you want to get this as close as possible, like you can like really snap to the ground. It's going to take a little bit of practice. Even I haven't mastered it either, for you to skip those frames and do that dash landing. So that's number 2. Number 3 on this list, and this involves dash landing. It's the dash dance with a jump. So it's a dash jump dance back and forth. And make sure you can do this consistently, but not just that, you got to do this low to the ground. Look how low you can get. You see the difference between this and this? You can go so low to the ground and so fast, it's ridiculous. You can even do it like, look how low this is. So guys, practice dash jumping back and forth. This is the fastest way to move in Brawlhalla. If you want to go from one side of the stage to the other, you have to learn how to input this back and forth, but also just really low to the ground. You're going to be moving faster than ever before, and you can even bait with it. We've talked about previously in this channel reactable and unreactable zones. If you don't know what I'm talking about, subscribe to Neutral and go check out our previous videos, like the how to approach video and whatnot. If you're trying to go in and out of their unreactable zone, this is how you do it now. You dash and then you dash out. I don't recommend backdashing like this. You just dash, land, and you dash out, and you go in, out, and you can choose to be on the ground or choose to be in the air. And that's why this is so important. You just get more options. the reason why movement is so important is imagine playing any other sport. Like imagine soccer without running. It's so much harder to get to the ball, and movement gives you more options to work with, more tools on your toolkit or tool belt or whatever you want to call it. So guys, keep practicing your movement, and we still have lots more to talk about in this video. That's just number 3 of 9. Number 4, empty hop. So again, those reactable and unreactable zones. This is a great way to kind of stay just far enough away from your opponent where you can kind of give yourself a lot of options. You can attack on the ground, you can dodge in the air and whatnot. So guys, jump, fast fall. This is it's not that hard anymore. You can even mess it up slightly, but if you want to input this really fast, really practice it, you're going to want to press down at the peak of your jumps. It's just a jump, fast fall. Jump, fall, jump, fall, jump, fall. I can turn my controller on, but it's really not that useful. It's just jump, fast fall. So guys, practice. Make sure you can do this. This is really, really useful. Number 5 on this list is ledge cancels. If you don't know what a ledge cancel is, basically, if you dash on a ledge or doing an attack, you can kind of skip those landing frames and you cancel them. So it's a ledge cancel, or like a platform cancel, whatever you want to call it. But you can kind of see here, there we go. You just go straight from the jump to the platform, and you can kind of get a feel for this and practice. There we go. You can go on Enigma to practice it. There's a lot of maps you can practice it on. Make sure you're jumping in the air if you want to get to that peak vertical part of it, not on the ground. And yeah, just make sure you practice these ledge cancels. It's how you can get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. You can kind of completely turn around your direction if you get good at this. It's a hard input though, and takes a lot of practice, so this is why you're not good at Brawlhalla. You can see I'm even misinputting it here. It can be a tough input. But if you can do it properly, it's, again, very useful. I'm actually messing it up here. There we go. Oh. There we go. Oh, it's like a timing thing. It's really weird. How is that dodge not? Come on. No! I'm messing it up. How is that? There we go. It's a tight input. So number 6 on this list, this is less useful, but it's going to become useful. And even though it's less useful, I still think it's extremely useful. Backdash jumps. Get used to this input, and you can even practice this little dance right here. So you go backdash jump, you turn around, backdash jump, turn around. It's like the opposite of dash jumps, but you get even, it's just different. So there's different situations where you're going to want to use this. It's not as practical as dash jumping. It's a lot slower than dash jumping. But do you see how low to the ground you go? You can even practice it like this. And it's like a, it's like a dash jump, but it's the opposite. It's a little slow, but you go super duper low to the ground, and it's a mix-up, right? People are like, what is he doing? What is he doing? Learn every movement option to your kit. It's very useful just to have different things to work with. You'll even see guys like Impala use this quite often in tournament as a way to bait people neutral while holding that stage control, which people love and you need. So guys, practice your backdash jumps. And yeah, you can do a figure 8. So it's backdash, go forward, backdash, go forward, backdash, go forward. There's a lot of ways to practice this backdash jump. So number 7, this is where things get kind of crazy, which a lot of people don't know about. We got dash cancels. I'm going to turn my controller on for this. Actually, my controller has been on the whole time. That's amazing. Take a look at this. Dash cancels are basically, so you guys know what a forward dash is, like a normal dash, you kind of whatever. But if you hold backwards right after you dash, you go a shorter amount. You're canceling your momentum. This gives you more control. So let's say you accidentally get too close to your opponent. This is a way to not get too close to your opponent. You dash cancel. Instead of running into them, you pressure them. And this, again, it's a useful tool. These are all just tools that help you win neutral. Movement is one of the most important parts of Brawlhalla. You could argue it's the most important. Someone might not know any combos, but if you got good movement, you're going to win neutral every single time. So dash cancels are huge. And this next thing I'm going to be talking about, it's even crazier involving dash cancels. So the next thing is dash jump cancels. So just like a dash cancel, you can do a dash jump and you can cancel it by holding back. And you can already get a feel for what this would be useful for. It's almost like faking out your opponent. It's a tough input, so to practice it, you can do it back and forth, kind of like this. So I'm whoopsie. dash jump cancel, dash jump cancel. I'm still trying to improve at this. This is like hard. There's a lot of pros that don't do this, and they should. Honestly, they should. The best of the best do this. You can see me sometimes messing it up, but it's just a dash jump, and then you hold back. And it's a great way of faking people out. Imagine this Ada's on the left side of the map, and instead of doing a dash jump and then putting myself too close to the Ada, instead, I dash jump, cancel it. And now I'm already holding back. I could even like go for a dash land afterwards. So dash jump cancel, dash land. And it's basically a dash jump. But instead, you're just canceling the momentum really fast. Just like that. So yeah, it is minor things, but if you can practice these, like, there's gonna be situations where you're gonna start using it and it's gonna help you in neutral. As you see, just what I did right there. It's like a really weird input. There we go. It's like skipping, and then you like cancel the skip, because a normal dash jump is like this, but like these dash jump like, it's so weird. It's really, really useful though. And number 9 on this list, this is the last thing on the list, very situational, but it can help. Dodge cancels. You're like, hey cosolix, what's a dodge cancel? Check this out. If you dodge and you hold upwards, look at that, your momentum stalls in midair. So you dodge and you hold up and you go into this glide. I'm gonna do it one more time. Look at this. Again, I'm dodging. Here I'm dodging diagonally down to the right, and then I'm holding up. And you're gonna see my character is gliding horizontally. This is a great way to mix up your movement when returning to stage. So for example, let's say you're in the air, you're out of options, you have nothing, you do a little dash cancel, or a dodge cancel, my bad, I'm like making a mistake. And you just stall that momentum. I didn't do it there. Recovery, and then you see that? It's a little mix up, and it could bait out your opponent. Like Sandstorm baited it out from me at MSI. We played at MSI, and I looked back, and he did this to me on Hammer, and it was why I missed the sidelight recovery on Lance. I would have had a kill confirm, and because he did this, he stalled his momentum just long enough that my Lance sidelight went under it, and he glided above it. It's actually just unreal what some of these pros know and they don't really talk about, and this is one of them. So again, this is why you should subscribe to Neutralix, because I'm gonna give you all the information I know. I want you to get better at Brawlhalla than me. So please, please, please subscribe, because I have so much knowledge and information from over the years, and I want to share it with all of you. As we load into the first game, we're going to be talking about the first tip in 2v2. This tip is to protect your teammate. Basically, you shouldn't always protect your teammate, but when the stocks are even, kind of think about what does your teammate need. Like in this situation, I should probably take one guy, so then my teammate can take one guy, and then, you know, there, look, I covered for my teammate. It's kind of just like watch your teammate and kind of think in general, what do they need to succeed the most? And we're gonna be talking about more in this. Like there, I just protected with a downer. I almost got a follow-up. Constantly looking at my teammate and my neutral. I'm gonna take one here, and there's nothing I can do there. I can't control everything, but I can kind of help as much as I can. Okay, what is that? But let's really focus right here. I'm just going to show you how you can protect your teammate even more so. So right here, they're kind of targeting the teammate. So I should be taking one at all times. Okay, if my teammate runs into them, then there's not much I can do. Like that, Sarah was protecting. That's protecting. And I don't know why he's going off stage. The teammate should not be doing that. I don't know why my teammate gravity cancels signatured. But here, right, we're going to take one of them and just make sure that they can't get to my teammate. I can't take both, right? My teammate now needs to run. But you kind of see what I mean. You think about the role. Think of, okay, how, like, do we win? And just thinking and watching your teammate and protecting them is extremely important. Let's talk about the second tip now. This is happening right now. Play for team stock. So right now, the J-In needs to live. So this J-In is the team's health, okay? When J-In dies, don't rely on your teammate winning a 1v2. So J-In is the team stock. They should not be going off stage if they're the team stock. They should be running and trying to stay alive so the team can win. I don't know why the J-In is running at them. The J-In should be running away. You are the king, right? You're the bed in Bed Wars. No! Like what are you doing? Don't be this J-In, okay? When you are down And you are that team stock. Really think about who's the team stock. The team stock is the lowest of the two teammates because it's the first one to, you know, lose the game. Go to that 1v2. Don't rely on that 1v2. So, yeah, when you're the team stock, run! Don't do what the Cheyenne did. Now let's see if I can win. I need to kill the rock, and then it's a 1v1, which I might be able to win. What is that? Ah. I want to dodge. I don't think I'm winning this. I don't think my teammate is good enough. Okay. Don't do what Jayan did. Just do not, please, no. The third tip you need to know to improve at 2v2 is to target swap. So take a look at this. When you win a neutral interaction and you can't follow up, look at your teammate. Because often, like, not just your teammate, but their opponent too, often they're going to try and cover for you. So right here, I'm looking at them, you know, I'm target swapping and I'm like pretending. I don't know what this guy's doing. We're friends. He's my friend now. We're having soft tacos later. Okay. But yeah, in a normal game, like, this is not a normal game. You know what? Let's cue into a normal game. We're gonna cut to a normal game at this clap. Wow, we just queued into another game. Okay, let me show you more about target swapping. So again, when you... There's no way these people are just leaving. What is this guy doing? He's just quitting. He's done. He saw my DreamHack Austin title and quit. What? Okay, now we're fighting. Okay, that's fine. So, once again, like, you win your neutral interaction, then you can kind of look at your teammate's opponent, right? And that's kind of like when you should target swap. You hit one away, and then when you can't follow up anymore, you target swap. So, again, like, watch this. I'm gonna, like, hit one of them away. Even right there. Okay, Queen 9 went away. Yeah, it's not really a great example. Okay, let's try and, you know. Hit that guy away, fake the target swap with the chase dodge. You know, I'm gonna unlight one of them, and then focus on the next. And it's just a lot of this target swapping. I unlight one, and then I look at the next guy. I just missed that easy punish, but... There, went for the other guy. It's as soon as you can't follow up, switch your target. There I almost got a Saren. And that decision making of if you should switch or if you can't, you should always look at switching, but you shouldn't necessarily switch. It's like mid-hit, look at the person behind you at the same time. It's a little bit hard. But here, right, I'm going to try and hit one away, so I dare end light. And now I just spot dodge reacting to that Hattori because I'm looking at the Hattori. In this situation, I'm gonna... Okay. I was winning. The Hattori lost, whatever. Let's queue another one. I'm just gonna leave at this point. I don't need to finish this. Okay, take a look at this. So I'm gonna win an interaction, and I'm gonna show you an example of target swapping. Okay. I Sair, and then I side light, and now I'm looking at the Mordex again. Sair. I didn't get that Mordex. Hit one away. Now we're looking at our teammate. Now we're gonna take a wall. Talk about that later. Sair, and now I'm looking at the Mordex. Back at the Diana. Back at the Diana. And we target swap. When we can't follow up, we look at the next guy. That's the tip. So we can't follow up, so let me look at the Mordex. Okay, he's hit away. 1, 2. Oh, he's dead. So once again, I'm gonna win an interaction. Won that, and then we look at the Diana because she's closer. It's whoever's closest, and we're constantly target swapping. I'm gonna do it a little bit more, just get some more examples, you know, for the editors. Almost got that Mordex. Hit that recovery. And then I target swap to that Diana because the Mordex is like that. And that's how you target swap. You look at one. When you can't follow up, you just switch. And that's kind of all it is. So I win one interaction. Now we're looking at the next. Win that interaction, looking at the next. Win that interaction, look at the next. Win this interaction, look at the next. Won that interaction, keep switching. You can use chase dodges to switch as well, which I think we'll be talking about later. Nice read. Nice. And hopefully that helped. The fourth tip, we're going to be talking about the default roles of 2v2. So just like in multiverses, Brawlhalla has a class system. There's supports, there's aggressors, there's hybrids, but in general, it's kind of hidden, not really talked about. There's two types of characters you want to play in 2v2. There's characters that close space very quickly. These are the aggressors. And there's characters that cover the person that's going first, and these are the anchors. It's like offense defense, just like in normal sports. So for example, a character with gauntlets usually goes in. Same with katars, same with sword. Characters with a lot of speed go forward. Bow downlight, you go forward with it. Moves that close that space are often seen with aggressor characters. For example, there's like Kaya is an aggressor. You'll often see Mordex as an aggressor. Let me give some more examples, just scrolling through the roster. Obviously, Thea would be an aggressor. Tezka, usually an aggressor. Yeah, could be support. This is kind of a hybrid, and we're going to be talking about why. Some more aggressors. Let's see. Onyx is an aggressor. Lucian's an aggressor. You know, closing space on Katars. Maybe Blasters is a bit more support, so slightly hybrid. Asuri is an aggressor for sword. Ember is an aggressor. Koji, etc. Jala is an aggressor, kind of again closing that space because she's got really good stats to do it, but also the weapons and the sigs. You're moving horizontal. It's just playstyle. Like the best characters for this are kind of hybrids and can kind of play both, but it is slightly more aggressor. Wushang, I'd say, is like a hybrid. Same with Val. Cross is a hybrid as well, in my opinion. Nyx is kind of hybrid, you know, aggressor, etc. Then we're going to be talking about the supports. So like Ulgrim, the Taros, even Cassidy, because hammer blasters are like support weapons. Spear can be support, but it can also be kind of slow. Gauntlets can be support. That's like a hybrid, just to set up these team combos. The goal with support is to cover your teammate and to set up team combos. So Lance and Axe are in particular outstanding at doing that. Then Hammer is also really good, and Blasters. That's why you'll see like most of the top teams, Boomy is the support, Sandstorm's the aggressor, Phazon is the aggressor, Cody Travis is the support. And you'll see this, you know, over and over and over again, just at the top level. Acno is the aggressor, Blaze is the support. Some of these team comps, Phazon Cody is like, Phazon Cody is Barraza and like a gauntlet character usually. Sandstorm Boomy really depends, but they kind of pick characters around that all the time. Cross Onyx, they're kind of both hybrids, but I would say the Onyx is the aggressor, the Cross is the support, setups with blasters, etc, etc. So just know your roles and kind of play towards those roles as part of the tip. So if you're the aggressor and your health is tied with your teammates and both you guys are team stock, the aggressor tends to go first. That way you don't make the mistake on who's going first at a top level. And that's something like when you hit each other, it's like, oh, well, we were both going for the same man. Well, no, the aggressor goes first usually if the health is tied. And that you'll see at top level 2v2. It's not super important, but it is a tip to help you improve. Pick legends that are better for different team comps. So what I just said. The fifth tip in this video is to keep stage control as much as possible. And this kind of goes into play with the target swapping. So for instance, if you hit someone off stage, go look at the guy on stage now, and you guys can 2v1 that person on stage. So constantly, I just hit that guy off stage. I'm looking at the guy on stage and really try and hold stage control. Stage control is very important because it's when you have stage control, both you and your teammate can cover for each other. But if you don't have stage control, you don't have movement options to cover for your teammate very easily. And it's as simple as that. You just don't want to put you and your teammate in a bad position. And stage control, we're just covering for each other, as you can kind of see here. We're both just holding it really nicely, and we're just covering really nicely because of that. This is some random teammate, and they're just doing it perfectly. Very nice. Nice follow-up. And look at this. We're both just holding this stage. They don't know what to do. He hits him off stage. The core shouldn't have went for that guy because it wasn't confirmed. Got a little distracted. We could have had a 2v1 on the other side. But see how I ignored my guy and we got a 2v1 on that left side because we're just focused on stage control. Even here, I chase dodge back up the stage just to like maintain this control. Not too bad, sir. There we go. No dodge. And this core can go all he wants off stage, and he almost died for it. I had to go just to save him for a second, or, you know, put some pressure on the opponents so, like, they wouldn't gimp him. And yeah, also, we're going to do a little special tip. This is an extra tip in the video. In 2v2, use combos that are easy for your teammate to follow up. When you don't have, and you're deciding which combo to use. Like on Orb, you're deciding between side light nair, side light down light, and side light side air. Side light side air is the easiest for your teammate to follow up most of the time. Unless you're side airing in the opposite direction, then maybe you want to like downlight or something. But either way, choose combos that are easiest for your teammates. So like on Lance, you have side light down there and side light nair. Choose side light nair. On Spear, you got downlight recovery and downlight Sair. Go for downlight Sair most of the time, not always. And it's the same for every weapon. Sword as well, instead of downlight Dare or downlight recovery, go for downlight Sair. Depends on your teammate, depends on what your teammate wants, but that is a very useful small tip that can help. Okay, so this is the 6th tip in the video, if we're not including the bonus tip. Pick and choose the interactions you take. So for instance, other than, let me, there we go. Basically, if you're playing twos, you have the choice to like pick an interaction and not. So really try and like choose what you're gonna win very accurately. If I focus right here, like that Sarah, I didn't try and punish. That Nair, I didn't try and punish. I didn't even try and punish any of those because I wasn't that comfortable. Probably shouldn't have punished that. And I get a free end light and I go for that. So really like focus and try and win every interaction. And if you aren't gonna win the interaction, you don't need to go for it. Like I shouldn't have dared there. Wasn't really confirmed. That was a clean side stick from Nakaya. We're on gauntlets, so it's GG's now. Gotta help my teammate. Make sure I take one. There we go. Aw, see, like I shouldn't have been in that position. But for the most part, should I take the guy off stage or on stage? Well, on stage, I'm more likely to win, to be honest. I guess I'm on gauntlet, so maybe I could have went for the guy off stage. But I'm used to being on stage with Lance. So really just think about the weapons you play. Think about the pros and cons of who you go for. And pick and choose the fight you're most likely going to win. You don't need to choose every interaction. You don't... It's like picking and choosing fights at the end of the day. Don't pick fights you're going to lose. And in twos, you have the luxury of a teammate to reset that position. And you can go for only the ones you're going to win. Okay, I'm going to focus up here and try and win. But speaking on that, let's go over the last tip. The last tip is to use chase dodges to reposition. So, like, if you feel like you're going to get covered by an opponent's teammate, you can use a chase dodge to just fully reposition. Aww. There's nothing I can do here. This is winnable. This is winnable. I can win this. You're going to see me use chase dodges a lot. So here, I'm gonna like win neutral, and then I'm gonna chase dodge. Oh, he covered well. Couldn't even chase dodge. Chase dodge to avoid that. That's cheesy side stick. Okay, if I kill the Orion, it's winnable. Kaya knows what they're doing. They both know what they're doing to a degree. Okay. I'm gonna really focus up here, and I think a bunch of stuff that you can apply if I win here is gonna be in a situation. Let me stop talking. There's the chase dodge. I shouldn't have chose that fight. God. I tried. Let's do one more game, and you're just gonna see a combination, but specifically I want to show you this chase dodging thing. I'm gonna point it out when it happens. Okay, I'm gonna really try. Win an interaction, and then chase dodge to avoid a punish. I'm gonna win an interaction, and then I'm probably gonna have to chase dodge. Oh, nice. Insane multiplayer. There I chase dodge to avoid that Hattori. That was a good example. It happens kind of niche, but as you get better and better, it happens more and more. So it's really good. If you think that like their opponent can cover, then you should chase dodge. Like that. Exactly that. You see exactly what I mean. I'm going to be talking about, we're going to go into training room. Once again, you're going to see the controller thing is kind of bugged in the corner bottom. My bad. If you know how to fix that controller thing, please let me know down below. Would really appreciate that because I've been trying for the last 20 minutes. But yeah, so the first tip, a lot of you guys might know this, a lot of you guys might not. You can actually press 2 buttons at the same time to input combos easily. So let me show you, for instance, if you want to downlight nair, downlight, jump, nair. And you can see I'm using my thumb. If I press the bottom, which is jump, and my left, which is attack, you press them both with your thumb, okay? I'm using like the middle of my thumb, like this part of it, to like press the bottom and then the side. If you press them both at the same time, it inputs a jump first and then a neutral air, frame perfect. So that just makes life really easy. You just press both of them the exact same time. So a lot of combos that require a jump to follow up. So downlight nair, downlight sair, then you get a lance, side light nair, then you get an axe, side light nair. A lot of combos in this game require that input. So that should make life way easier to instantly jump and attack frame perfect. You don't even have to worry. And again, it's not just the weapons I talked about. Downlight sair, right? Then you got orb, side light sair. Side light jump sair, like that. Here, I'll show you the combo just in case. Side light sair. You could do that doesn't require a jump, but you can still press your dodge and your nair at the exact same time, and then we'll do the movement one first. So that's a tip. Press the buttons at the same time. This also applies to keyboard, but it's a lot easier on controller when you just use one hand to do it all. And the same applies for recoveries. You can press them both if you can. It's hard for me. So what I do is I slide my finger from the bottom to the side. Just like slide it really quick. And that's an instant jump recovery. So if I'm a lance player, which I am, you go side light, jump recovery. And again, I'm sliding my hand. It's like a quick slide from bottom to the side. You can press them both at the same time. It does the exact same job. Maybe on this controller, I should start doing that. But on the Xbox One, that was too hard. So, yeah. Either slide or press them at the same time. Both work. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2. You can actually overclock your controller if you're on PC, especially if you're on PlayStation. PlayStation has some built-in lag compared to Xbox because Xbox works well with Microsoft. But this overclock increases your polling and fixes all that. I'm not going to show you how to overclock your controller in this video. I'm going to link down below a guide, bunch of great guides out there on how to overclock your controller. Try and get at least a 1000 polling rate, but in the newer versions, you can go to 5000. Again, watch those guides. Again, link down below if you want to overclock your controller. It makes a pretty big difference. They have this overclocking program on LAN. So if you do compete in Brawlhalla, if you want to compete and play Brawlhalla in person at official LANs, then the program's there, so you got nothing to worry about. So this next tip is not necessary, and at the same time, I don't know if I fully recommend it, but it helped me personally, so I'm going to say it anyways. I set my left bumper to dodge and dash, and the reason I do a left bumper instead of the triggers is because the bumper is a lot quicker to press. The trigger, you have to press all the way down, while the bumper, it's just a bumper. So you can like, think of like if you're spamming the button, and think how much movement is useful in this game. How many times can you press the bumper within 10 seconds compared to how many times can you press the trigger within 10 seconds? The bumper is usually quicker. So I switched it to the bumper. The pros and cons to this, big con, it breaks the controller quicker. The bumpers are less durable than the triggers from my experience, especially on Xbox. So you don't have to do this, but it helped me personally, so that's the tip. And if you're wondering how do you hold your controller with this, what I do is I put my middle finger like near the trigger to reach the bumper easier. It's not claw, like this is claw where it's like both of them, but I just have it under, just like this. So I can easily reach that, and I can reach the joystick, no problem. And it's even easier on Xbox. I can grab an Xbox controller. This controller's broken, but whoopsie. You can see what I mean. I put my finger here below the trigger, and then bumper, and then easy. So that helps a lot. Or, well, for me. Next tip, this is in the controls of the game. There's a little controls option. It's called improved joystick. I recommend turning this off. However, if you have an old broken controller, there's a thing called stick drift, and this, I believe, helps with that. As far as I know, is it makes it so it requires you to move your trigger a little bit more to input. So yeah, take a look at this. You can see on the trigger how much I need to move the trigger for my character to start walking in game. You can kind of see it's almost all the way down. When if I turn this off, then we do that exact same thing. I'm doing it, and it's a lot quicker actually. So improved sticks makes it so the dead zone is bigger. So you can be a bit more accurate. If a joystick is drifting a bit, you won't get it impacted. However, it also makes it harder to move. You have to press it further to start moving. So that extra millisecond or so might make a big difference. So if you have a good controller, turn off improved sticks or whatever right here. Make sure you turn that off. But if you have a controller that has issues, then keep that thing on. But there's no reason to have it on with a working controller. Now, tip number 5, and the final tip in this video, because I couldn't think of any other good tips. I don't want to give you guys bad tips. I recommend playing in the posture of keep your controller on your lap. I used to play like this. If you look at old sets of me from back in 2017, I would play like this. I think it's fine to play upright like this, but here's the problem, is you're holding your controller with your wrists, and that's a lot of strain on your wrists. Take it from somebody who's dealing with tendonitis. I don't know if it's caused by me holding it like this, but it's extra strain for you to hold the controller upright. So what I recommend is put your wrists on your lap. I'm not going to take a picture of my crotch, but you can kind of see what I mean. Your wrists are on your lap, basically. And you can look up a gamer pose on Google. You know what? We're going to do that. We're looking up a gamer pose. Gamer pose with controller. Let's see. Okay. That's an okay one. See, I don't recommend this because your wrists are still holding your controller up. But this is pretty solid. I would even go closer to the lap. But yeah, I think that's not bad. You can see what they're doing here with this scuff pillow, I guess, if you really want. It's resting those wrists, which is very important. Same thing with this guy here. His wrists are like on his legs. I definitely recommend that if you're trying to take Brawlhalla a bit more seriously. But there's not too many other examples. This one's okay. Just think of how much strain your wrists are dealing with, and let's try and minimize that as much as possible. And other than that, you could say a 6th tip. I use Joystick. Everyone I know that's on the top right now uses Joystick. So I recommend Joystick. I think it's a bit easier for movement and whatnot. D-pad can work, but it's just like really hard to like I don't know. If you prefer D-pad, use D-pad. But I find joystick the easiest. Look at that movement right there, guys. Ooh, 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 so nice. So sexy. I haven't even practiced much. So yeah. Guys, if you watched until now, subscribe. Check out teamneutralix.com. Again, if you want some coaching. And yeah, if you subscribe, you will improve at Brawlhalla. So make sure you go do that. Thanks for watching. Check out my personal Discord. I think the link to that is down below. And I'll see you all in the next video.